Well, that's one way to start an episode. But anyway, the train gathers around Fox and his new mate. But thankfully, the tragedy that befell our group the last time has not been forgotten yet.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Ah, told you we'd all make it to White Deer Park, didn't I, mateys?
Not quite all, Toad.
I saw what happened to the mice. I'm sorry.
And right there, we have now run the course of this incident and it will never be ever mentioned again.
But where's Ada? I'd like to thank her for saving me.
Ada's hiding.
Why?
She's ashamed. Ruined her nasty reputation.
If you hadn't struck out at the horse, it would have trampled on you, Ada.
As long as you realize I was only saving my own skin.
Lucky for me.
Next time, you may not be so lucky.
After that, we're given our morning report by Kestrel.
I found your water as you asked, in a quarry. It's not far.
Quarry? Did you say quarry, matey?
With a wire fence round it.
I knew it! Ha ha! There's ducks, water birds, and I don't know what else. It's a treat of a place. Oh, we'll be quite safe there, mateys.
Yeah, nothing says safety like a plot of land that you can get into but then can't get out again. It's about as safe as sleeping in an airlock on a spaceship, or doing opera practice on the side of a mountain. Regardless, the train proceeds as normal and goes on to the quarry.
See, the leaves are falling. Soon be autumn.
Yet another sign that the animals have been travelling a bloody long way since they started, though how long exactly I couldn't tell you, and again no one seems to be able to.
Sometimes I wonder if I did right, leaving the bulls and mice behind.
I did do right, didn't I, Fox? I didn't royally bugger this up, did I?
Toad, jump up.
I can ride on you, Fox, like the old days.
You know what this means. Yes, the Fox taxi service is once again open for business. Though Toad's got one hell of a fare to pay, and the meter's still running since last time. Also, the rabbits have got one hell of a fine to pay now. Oh, and look, it seems the service is extended to Vixen. It's a full party service! But the train moves on and our favourite girls have themselves another chat.
Toad's getting above himself.
And if love is blind, as they say it is, it's a fine state for our leader to get himself into.
You helped save him.
You helped save his mate.
I was saving myself.
Says who?
Well, you could ask that horse. He could probably vouch for it. But the animals make it to the quarry with some quite literal fences in the way.
Oh dear.
Why are you saying that? Kestrel told you clear as day that this quarry had a wire fence around it, so you knew full well that you would have to face this problem. Maybe Badger's getting forgetful in his old age. But of course the smaller animals manage to get through, and Mole manages to do his thing once again and digs them all underneath.
Moley, what would we do without you?
Die of thirst, I should think.
This is why you've got to love Ada. She can always slip in a snide remark to put a crimp on any happy situation, along with copious amounts of weasel laughter.
Turn round, Moley! You're digging in the wrong direction!
Oh, sorry.
I say steady on, Moley.
Don't panic. My husband is being buried. Don't you dare say a word.
Yes, Rabbit. I think we have had enough of your panicking, don't you?
Yes, Fox. Sorry, Fox.
Looks like Fox is still holding a grudge. Which is understandable. He did nearly get crippled, crushed and drowned trying to save him. The way he talked to Rabbit definitely put him in his place this time. But then, up in the sky, we're introduced to our new character. And he's trying to milk his close-up for all it's worth.
A fine display of flying technique, don't you think, Owl?
Needs oiling, if you ask me.
Jealous much?
Come on, mateys! Water's cool and sweet. This is the life, eh, mateys?
It's so peaceful, like a different world.
No humans.
Not all of them hunt. Some run nature reserves, like this White Deer Park of yours.
True. And some of them go home from hunting us to pet their dogs and their horses.
Still, we're safe here, with friends. Look at Owl and Kestrel. At first, I thought Owl was the leader. And look at Mole. Oh, he's so greedy.
Toad's almost as bad.
Good evening.
Right on cue.
I hope we aren't intruding.
Oh, no, guests are always welcome.
This is Whistler, the heron, and to be honest, in this series, he's actually my favourite character. There's just something about his polite, kind, but still very restrained nature that makes him a fun character to be around. He reminds me a lot of John Pertwee's Doctor Who, just with less Nick Cage zombies running around him. And as we'll see later on, his ability to fly and being the biggest character of them all gives the animals significant advantage when it comes to travel, transportation and carrying things. Also, his instrumental overtone of the theme song when he flies up ahead is actually given an explanation, as we'll see.
I hope you won't mind me asking, but...
The whistle? Someone mistook me for a pheasant. Took a pot shot. Winged me. Air goes straight through it when I'm flying. Makes a whistling noise.
Well, there are worse places to be shot at if you're a bird, or even if you're a human. Right, Officer Murphy?
Fish don't hear me. In the water, you see. Tell you what, I'll catch you some for breakfast. Watch this.
What an exhibition! Surely you're not impressed, are you, Fox?
Oh,
A wise leader is never influenced by mere show-offs.
See?
Whoa, I think this is the first time we've ever seen Ada be scared. And trust me, it won't be the last time either.
Your wife seems to like swimming.
she's frightened of the heron, you see. Always rolls up when she's frightened. We both do.
So after some clumsy foreshadowing and the ungrateful life-saving of Mrs. Hedgehog, the rain starts coming in something fierce, much like it is right now. But for some reason this gets Toad all riled up and ready to start fishing.
Ahoy, mateys! I can do what Whistler can. Watch me.
A lot like my granddad.
I want to learn how to fish like you. Toads don't catch fish. Well, I do. I'll show you. I'll do it if it kills me.
Doubtful. The producers like you too much. Plus Moody's under contract to keep voicing you, so you're pretty much immortal.
Toad needs little or no encouragement at the best of times.
He needs teaching a lesson.
Too true, Ada. Pride comes before a fall, or so they say.
Where does she keep getting these sayings from? She can't read, and she certainly doesn't spend a lot of time hanging around humans. I mean, I know they're playing into the old stereotype that owls are supposed to be wise, but that doesn't fill in how she has all this pseudo-intellectual bollocks in her head. Does she just follow the quote of the day page on Twitter?
Whistler, you're spoiling us.
You'll have us as fat as Toad and Mole.
He hasn't come up yet. Who's that, Mole? Toad. He hasn't come up.
Perhaps he's so full of worms he's sunk.
Yet another morale-raising notion from our would-be leader. Looks like the Quarry was in the area where they must have been filming Piranha 3 Triple D. Though I don't think a greasy old toad would be the best snack for an old carp. It'd be the equivalent of eating saline solution and pus.
Told you I could, eh?
Oh no. Something's happened to him.
Oh, no! I say, that old carp's got him.
That's supposed to be a carp?
He's too fat to swallow.
Just as well, Adder. Toad's the only one who knows the way to White Deer Park.
Serves Fox right for trusting a toad.
You seem to be taking the notion of potentially losing your only guide pretty well. Maybe you should become the morale officer. I mean, you'd probably just be as good at it as Arnold Rimmer is.
Whistler, can you do anything to help?
My pleasure. I've been after that carp for years.
Ah yes, the Moby Dick-esque tale of Whistler the Heron and an old blue carp. Truly this is a battle of wits and courage.
Toad! Oh no!
Is he dead? Make way! Make way!
Yep, Weasel's going to show her CPR skills once again. Truly she is the greatest doctor we have on this train.
Don't jump on him, Weasel. You'll squash him. Are you all right, Toad? Yeah. Thank you. Oh, the pleasure was mine. Poor thing. Do you think you could throw it back? I beg your pardon? Just can't bear to see it gasping like that.
It tried to kill you! I don't think it would mind if you let it die. It would probably understand. But no, Whistler, unlike Ahab, lets the carp back into the water, regardless on whether it would actually survive now or not. Maybe they're going to have to get Neil to put it out of its misery later. But of course, the train tells Whistler about the oath, and they seem to be able to coax him over onto their side.
The oath's changed us, Whistler. Before we started out on this journey to White Deer Park, we'd none of us think for a moment about throwing back a fish like that. But now...
Live and let live. That's our motto. Well, makes a change, I must say. You know, I do find you animals rather intriguing.
He'll be asking if he can come with us next.
Not a bad idea, that.
But it's nice here.
True, but it gets a bit lonely, you know. Lots of ducks and fish, of course, but are there any herons at White Deer Park? Now you come to mention it, I did see one or two. Female herons? Now there you got me, matey. Can't tell the difference, see?
Well, Whistler, you might be lucky and find a mate. I was.
If we ever get there. Toad's a bit accident-prone.
Yes. From now on, Toad, you'd better stick close. No going off on your own, right?
You see, Toad, you really are too important to lose. We must take care of you.
I'm important?
Yes.
Of course it is, that's just common sense. It's like if you lost a map in another country you didn't know. If you go, this whole expedition goes down the shitter along with you.
I'm important!
Was that wise, Fox?
It was kind, Al.
Of course. Owl is right. We should have asked her advice on how best to take care of Toad.
If you say so, dear.
Watch it there, Fox, you're starting to lose your edge. Get whipped and you'll get nothing. Sorry to any couples out there, of course.
And now Whistler wants to join us.
You'll have to take the oath.
Oath?
The oath of mutual protection.
And so shall you, my dear. Fox's mate cannot be exempt.
I say.
I shall be glad to take the oath.
Wait, she's been with them since yesterday and she still hasn't taken the oath yet? That's like not meeting your spouse's parents until after the wedding. Regardless, she goes along with it, along with Whistler, and they begin to take the oath.
Say after me, I, Vixen, or Whistler, whichever you are. You know better than me.
I,
Whistler,
Vixen,
do solemnly swear Not to swallow, or otherwise consume.
Not to swallow or otherwise consume.
Anybody while en route to Toad's White Deer Park.
And so, Whistler and Vixen have officially joined the group!
Cha-da-da-da, 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 chan cha-da-da-da, chan cha-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, chan chan. ジャックが仲間になった。
長えよ、何の音だよ。
But the animals move on to their next location and come into the quarry of a old and faithful threat, a pheasant shoot, and a legitimate one this time.
You've walked right into the middle of a pheasant shoot. Take care.
Quick, everyone. Keep together. Hare, keep an eye on those rabbits.
Imagine if the pheasants had made it this far and died here. Massive loss for the animals, huge sigh of relief for us.
Oh, those dogs. It reminds me.
Shh. With any luck, they'll be so busy with the birds, they won't pick up our scent at all.
Tough luck for you then, Kestrel, Owl and Whistler. Fox says you're on your own.
Don't panic. Don't panic.
Shit! That makes the pheasant shooting from Bambi look tame by comparison. A dead pheasant just got shot down in front of a load of kids. Snuff film, anyone?
Don't panic.
Keep still. He'll be back.
Be quiet. You don't want a matching hole in your other wing, do you?
That would be unfortunate.
But deserved.
That does make me wonder what it would sound like though. Would it sound like a proper duet? Or would it just sound like the same sound repeated over and over again? Also, he's fed you loads of fish and saved your guide's life. If anything, you owe him. Why don't you go and distract the toffs for him?
Shh. I don't want to be taken for a pheasant. Don't panic.
Oh no.
Oh. I guess I was right. I guess the landowners weren't all that picky today. I guess anything goes at this hunt. But now this young rabbit is off to see the great Frith. Godspeed, young Owsler.
It's my fault. I'm his mother. I'm supposed to protect him.
You're a good mother. You did your best.
So did you.
To think Owl saved him from the snare for this.
Yes, it is truly a tragic loss. What was his name again? But the animals take this as a sign that they need to rest, and thus they stop and take a rest under the moon where one of them was killed Deathly Hallow style. And much like Dobby, this character was completely annoying, only introduced to die, and will never be mentioned again. Cue the amount of million Harry Potter fans who now suddenly say that they hate me. Despite my snark though, the death of this young rabbit is significantly a bad loss, and it's still very, very tragic. I mean, any death of a young one is very, very sad, as we saw with the young mice in the last few episodes. And let's also not forget that if they lose any more at this point, they'll actually be down half the amount from where they started. Though they have gained several followers on the way there, so maybe that'll just even out a little bit.
I was just wondering how you were enjoying the journey.
Well, I'm beginning to see why you all stick together, Owl.
The sooner we reach White Deer Park, the better.
Ah, Kestrel, I thought you'd be asleep.
I'm anxious about tomorrow.
Only he who is without hope is without anxiety. But he who is without anxiety is at peace.
Oh, shut up.
So what to make of this episode? Well, it's definitely a lot more toned down since the last episode, which is called for, so it allows us to relax and let down the hair a little bit. But the threats still grow larger regardless. The introduction of a new character is a very prestigious moment, especially considering that Whistler is the only character who was not a species that is already in the group to have joined midway, and he also holds the honour of being the biggest animal of the original group too. And now you know lots more that you didn't really need to know to begin with. Like I said, Whistler is a great character, and he's a very nice character to see, but thankfully the episode does not solely focus on him, and it shows us the group doing what we loved about them back with their original leader, who admittedly doesn't show an entire amount of great competence here, but just give him time, he'll grow back into his role. The theme of coming to an end is now very prevalent, which is natural because the animals are coming near to the end of their journey, but like Al also said, anxiety is starting to settle in, which is fitting considering that in the following episodes they'll be coming closer and closer to civilization than they ever were before. But we'll see about that in the next episode when we see Kestrel's anxiety made flesh, but we'll see that when we get there.